The Lombardi family is on vacation again, this time to the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois. It has been well over a decade since Allison and Joey visited Chicago, and they wanted Ben to experience the sights, sounds, and flavors of this great city. If you are wondering just who the hell I am Lily, an AI-generated voiceover that will be narrating this trip for the family. For most of the footage, the audio wasn't great, so you get me. Our first attraction is the Centennial Wheel at the Navy Pier. The wheel is 200 feet tall, making it the 6th tallest Ferris wheel in the United States. The wheel weighs 992,080 pounds, while each of its 42 gondolas weighs 3,400 pounds. The Centennial Wheel debuted in 2016 to celebrate Navy Pier's 100th anniversary, replacing a 150-foot wheel with 40 gondolas that was installed in 1995. Both wheels were designed by Dutch Wheels. The gondolas are enclosed and climate-controlled, with air conditioning in the summer and heat in the winter. They also feature high-tech safety glass and entertainment systems with video screens that play information about Navy Pier. On Wednesday, August 7th, Team Lombardi visited Wrigley Field to see the Chicago Cubs play the Minnesota Twins. The Cubs beat the Twins 8-2. Wrigley Field opened in 1914 and is nicknamed the Friendly Confines, a phrase popularized by Hall of Fame shortstop and first baseman Ernie Banks. The oldest park in the National League, it is the second oldest in the majors after Fenway Park, 1912, and the only remaining Federal League park. For our next stop, the building that will always be known as Sears Tower, but the people paying the bills call it the Willis Tower. The Willis Tower is a 110-story, 1,451-foot skyscraper in the Loop community area of Chicago. The building started construction in 1970 and was opened in May 1973. Willis Tower is home to the highest public viewing area in the United States, with the sky deck being 1,353 feet above the ground.
I did, yes. We heard.
No trip to Chicago would be complete without doing an architecture tour on the river. There are several options, and the Lombardis selected one by the Navy Pier. The architecture tours are a great way to both see and learn about Chicago's history, especially after the Great Chicago Fire of 1871, where the city had to rebuild itself, which earned Chicago the nickname the Second City. This locking system allows tour boats to safely transfer from Lake Michigan into the downtown river and canal system. The Chicago River has a long history of pollution, with early settlers dropping trash and sewage directly into the water. As the city grew in the late 1800s, the river became a dumping ground for industrial waste, as well as sewage and harmful chemicals. The polluted river contaminated the city's drinking water, leading to frequent cholera epidemics throughout the 19th and 20th centuries and posing a public health crisis. Engineers reversed the flow of the river which drove the foul wastewaters to other cities like St. Louis, which is a whole different story. No Lombardy vacation would be complete without gratuitous coverage and footage of eating. Joey is making individual videos for each of the restaurants they visited, but a supercut of all the great food certainly wouldn't hurt the vibes of this video.
I think for my first time in Chicago, this was a very, very fun trip. We did a lot of things. Most of them were really fun, besides the Admiral Planetarium.
Excellent trip. This obviously was not my first time here. Joey and I have been here at least twice before together, maybe even 3 times before Ben. I have always loved the city, loved it even more this time around, experienced it with Ben. A lot of new places to eat, a lot of excellent food, a lot of fun activities. There was some stuff that we never did before, like the Ferris wheel. That was really fun. So is overall a great trip, 10 out of 10. I do wish we had used more public transportation so we could have sat in traffic less, but other than that, there's really nothing I would change. We hit everything on our list and everything met or surpassed expectations.
The second city was very fun, absolutely hilarious. I enjoyed it a lot, and I really hope that those people end up getting on SNL or some kind of comedy-based. I really hope that the hilarious comedians, I really hope they get onto like SNL or some kind of comedy outlet that's popular, because they were absolutely hilarious.
So yeah, Chicago. Last day. Overall, interesting city. It's always interesting to come back to it. It's been over a decade since I've last been here properly. I've had layovers in Chicago. But has it changed? Yeah. I think the food's gotten a little bit more sophisticated. The infrastructure's gotten a little bit better. There's definitely a lot to do in the city. It's interesting. But also traffic, public transportation. The last time we were there, I was talking with an Uber driver. We took a lot of public transportation, and it's still here. I think public transportation in Chicago is much better than Philadelphia, but we relied heavily on cabs and Ubers, and in hindsight, I kind of regret it. I just feel like we sat in a lot of traffic, spent a lot of money on Ubers and taxis and flies. So yeah, word to the wise, if you're traveling, especially maybe if you're just you or you're with a more able-bodied people, don't take the transportation. It's faster. We just spent a lot of time sitting in traffic on this trip. But as a whole, really enjoyed it. Really like being here. Felt like this is a great place to go and hit, do 3 solid days and go home. So yeah.